Today we're going to talk about relationships in business and how we translate this into the generation of wealth. So when you meet a client for the first time and they want to come in and say they have a really big project to do, would you move forward with somebody in a business relationship if you didn't feel that you had the right chemistry with them? How important is that?
Well, that's a really good question. And the pre-sales process in software development, especially large-scale stuff, is slow, laborious. It goes under a lot of scrutiny. So we treat every meeting we have as a chemistry meeting, and I make sure I bring along part of the team are people who are going to be actively involved in the project when we move forward. And it's really important for Affinity to understand what the business itself stands for and whether there's a synergy between that, not just how good we are at building the solution they want, but do we like their business philosophy? Do we like their business processes? Do we like the team? Does the team member like each other? If the affinity is there, then we've got every chance of success.
It's like a marriage.
Yes, I was going to say, exactly, you're in it for the long haul.
What it's like is an arranged marriage. You know, for a marriage to work, you have to have the right people together, and then you have to work very hard, and you have to be prepared to make compromises.
And hopefully there's a little spark along the way that you develop something amazing or that surpasses what the customer...
Yeah, so sometimes we fall in love with the customer instantly.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a slow burn, but whatever happens, our aspiration is always to jointly produce something which exceeds their expectations.
And with the trends constantly changing in the market and the way things move on and are, like 10 years ago, we look back to our phones and we think, wow, all we can do today. And what will 10 more years bring? So it's probably an ever-changing, evolving. So you're hoping to stay with that customer to evolve with them?
When you talk about trends and advancements in technology in our sector, it's just incredible. Things are moving at such pace. It's really difficult for us as technology leaders to keep up with what's going on, let alone the public or our clients. For example, at the moment, big data and machine learning and the power of machines and the reduction in the cost of these machines that are doing this kind of data crunching has meant that really significant management and business information can be extracted from millions of lines of data from reviews, for example. So in the gaming industry particularly, to make agile, quick changes to software, games, to meet the needs of the users is a key USP and what keeps certain companies advanced. And to do that, they are trying to analyse reviews and feedback from those gamers almost in real time. And can you imagine conventionally 3 million reviews? How do you get the wheat from the chaff?
How do you generate for your customer the wealth that is required to sustain all of this?
And also adding to that, because, you know, we're two women here questioning you.
Yes.
So, how do you create the wealth? Brilliant question. And then where do the relationships fit into the wealth creation?
We facilitate wealth creation. Our solutions and services are designed either to bring a product or service to market, and our guys, the whole team, have a load of technical wealth that they can bring to a project. And also we bring business efficiency, which increase wealth and profit. But more fundamentally than that, there's multiple types of wealth, isn't there? And I think one thing that Affinity does through relationship is bring emotional wealth. So I'm in a deeply technical and stressful arena. You know, nothing ever goes smoothly, however you try. And there are two types of stress, I think, and the negative stress is one that's predominant in our industry. And you've only got to go into your first meeting where a client's looking at you going, I failed 3 times before. How bad, you know, what are my degrees of failure going to be with you?
Yes, how do you learn that trust and how do you show that you are really genuinely...
Well, it's very hard initially, and this is where the chemistry comes in. So Affinity will sometimes make compromises that don't make commercial sense initially because we're always looking at the long-term goal. We are looking for Most of my clients have been with me for 4 years plus. It's part of what we want to do culturally. We're looking for support and maintenance contracts. We're looking for continual improvement contracts. We want to use this big data to make your product better. We can only do that if we're in it. This marriage, this ability to compromise, this ability to sacrifice something for the bigger picture, and we expect our clients to do it as well. It's a two-way street.
Yes.
It is really, really important to us. And it is what makes us
I
different.
have a question for you. Do you find it easier when it comes to gender and this particular product and this particular service that you offer? Which gender do you find it easier to work with? Who's the more creative and who?
We have to take into account that you're grossly outnumbered here.
I am, and I've got to be really careful with it. Actually, there are different phases in our process, and women feature in the software sector in not quite the same way as they do in other sectors. And I would say that...
Be very careful here.
In production, there are, women running a project is a very, very good thing.
Okay.
It's not sometimes good for us because we get the kind of scrutiny and questions asked which we should be asked, and we have to be on our toes. I would say that there's definitely a role, and I think female ability to multitask and be on it and be able to, because part of what we do as an organisation and part of what I've brought into the organisation, I guess because of my personality and the way we are, is that wanting to share, despite the fact that it's sometimes hard to share a problem with a client, we want to do that. And I think women are innately better at doing that, dare I say.
And women know what they want and they go and get it. Like I recently read a review where that if a woman goes for a job, she will look at the 10 things that are required. And if she doesn't have the 10, she won't apply for the job. Whereas if a man goes for the same job and he gets 6 or 7, he's happy to go and put himself forward. So women are inclined to be more, I think, positive and sure, and they've worked a lot of it out in their head before they get to you. Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a very good thing from our perspective, because we need to be certain that the people we're employing can do the job they say they can do. So when we talk about CVs, one would argue they're a very useful tool, but they are this useful when that's what you need. So it's all about the personality. It's all about the experience. Is it relevant to you? Is it relevant to your clients? And I would say that it is easier sometimes to establish exactly where you are.
Indeed. And just before we finish up, any trends in your market that you notice at the moment? Any particular trends? Bear in mind, I've got a director in my ear. So
well, I guess one of the quick ones to talk about would be the use of mobile tech and how exciting it is with what you can do on your mobile phones. Walking past a shop and a message comes up on you saying, if you turn to your right, you can have 10% off a coffee as you're going past the shop. How cool is that?
Brilliant. Jonathan Duval from Affinity Digital, thank you for joining us today. I'm Mairead Malloy from Barclays International.
And I'm Donna Butler.
Have a good day.